Good evening, ladies, gentlefers, and my lovely NBs. We are here live tonight for game number 3 of the FBA Finals in Tallahassee, where the Typhoons will go up against the Las Vegas Wildcards. My name is Marcus Baylor, and to my right is Ryan Eastman. How are you doing, dude?
I'm doing excellent, Marcus. How'd you enjoy the first two games not being in the booth?
Uh, it was, it was great being able to just be in the stand, just to be a fan, trying to root on for, trying to show biases for once, outside of like trying not to be biased, within the booth, considering my relations to some players, on a particular team. But it has, I do miss this booth, man. It has been always been a pleasure to be able to call these games, and this is gonna be no different.
Yeah, and I'm wondering how much you were told to get out of the stands after the way the first two games went for Vegas.
Whew, yeah, it was definitely not a pretty one for the first 2 games, especially having that being spoiled, at home for Vegas. Losing both of your games is very, very much a huge no-no in any, particular stage of the playoffs, but here at the finals, the biggest stage, is not something you wanna see, and I already know that Brandon was fuming considering how much he had to carry to try and at least keep those games relevant.
And we'll dive into the first two games. Really, we're jumping into the third game as both teams are heading to the floor now, ready to get started.
Yeah, but here go the Typhoons with the striped white, while the Cards rocking the gold, getting ready to get things going with a tip off going over to Vegas.
As you said, this is honestly a do or die game for Vegas. Yes, even if they lose this one, it's not over for sure, but being down 3-0 would be terrible. And Doyle going to start us off with a big three there.
Yeah, great thing to go ahead and get those threes raining early on, as that's really been the big question, is to whether or not the guards can go up. And we got nice defense to stop there, so great going here for Vegas, as Gorkale going for a layup. Not going to get it down, but will draw the foul against Conley. And that'll be Conley's first personal of the game.
And getting him fouled early would be a good thing. In game number 2, he was a big factor in their victory. But Doyle hitting a big three, that's kind of what I wanted to see and what I talked about in the first two games. Doyle having been here so many times in the finals and not having walked away with a ring, you would expect him to be a guiding veteran at 36 years old. How many years does he have left in this league? And he needs to step up and help lead this Vegas team back from this deficit that they find themselves in the series.
And Tyler Conley going in with a quick finish, giving the first points for Tallahassee, as they're only down by 3. And that's going to be really the big question here is, there is a lot of veteran presidents, especially in starting line with Doyle and John Ferdinand. But that's really been the big crucial moment, is the guards have to step up here, and we get another foul being joined. This time it's going to be against Doyle, as the Typhoons getting ready to cut the deficit down with Victorson on the line. First one being good.
Yeah, and you can't discount the veteran presence on Tallahassee. Obviously, you have Smoot coming off the bench. She was a longtime starter for Tallahassee. And you have Sutters as well coming off the bench. So you look at the Tallahassee side, they have some good veteran presence. I mean, Renee Fiora also deep in the bench, but we'll see a few minutes from her every game as well. And Baylor, the second chance is going to go to the line. Second foul on Conley already. The Husky getting in foul trouble here early.
Yeah, and right now Brandon's kind of doing a little bit of lessons learned from last year's finals, trying to put a little bit of foul trouble early against Tyler Conley, especially with the fact that he has much bigger size comparatively. As both free throws do go down for the Polar Bear. And now Vegas up by 3 with just under 11 minutes left of the first quarter. And we get a quick 3 that's going to be in and out there. So a little rushed offensive possession here for Tallahassee. And it's going to be answered right back, as we get a great start here for Vegas. You can't ask anything better than that, as they're up by 5 in the early going.
Yeah, I will say, even with the foul trouble coming against Conley, Tallahassee, there is their veterans who are their deep bench players, the big deep bench bigs, Smoot and Sutter. So they, not too much to worry about should Conley get into even more foul trouble here early. But ooh, foul coming in from Murphy. Tyreek against Martin. Gonna send the hair to the line for 2.
Yeah, and Martin really has kind of been one of the main leaders here for the Typhoons for the past few years, making the first one go down. Second one is going to be good as well. And that's going to be really the big task here for Vegas if they want to go ahead and continue on with this lead, is to try and find any kind of weakness within that Typhoons lineup. Because like you said, from top to bottom, they are really deep and they have a lot of good. They're pretty much in sync for these past throughout this year.
I mean,
But
they
right now,
brought,
they're doing a
I'll
really good
say,
job of that.
they brought in some big players with Kierkegaard, Conley, and obviously re-signing Martin in free agency, re-signing Hopkins in free agency. A big, dangerous roster as we see Hopkins hitting a big three there with the defense still on her. Again, she's a threat from out beyond the arc. The cat can't be left with even a bit of breathing room. As Robbins answers with a quick finger roll back. And I mean, that's not to discount the Vegas roster. You know, the bulk of this roster made it to the finals last year. Obviously, they made the change for John Ferdinand over, Lindsey Morrison. So, you know, they are fielding a little different lineup than they were last year that made it to the finals. Last year, they made it to Game 7 and ended up losing. Can they, push this back the other way and make another full series come to life with a win here tonight?
That's going to be the big question, because all the pressure is going to be on the wildcards to get that push in, and you have to exert a lot more energy compared to what it would be if they even had the series be tied coming into game number 3. But now being in this hole, they have to pretty much play perfect basketball in order for them to even have a chance to stay alive. And once again, another 3 there from Aurora to bring that deficit back down to 1. But Ivy Robbins was able to go ahead and clean up her own miss, and she does do so, bringing that back up to a 3-point lead.
Yeah, and Hopkins showing off there, her smaller size has to have that step back jumper on point, and you saw how much space she was able to generate to get that 3 off. So, you can't discount her size. And Sutters against Baylor, the veteran, able to get the best of him and pulling it back within 1 here. As you see, field goal percentage for both teams is sky high to start this game.
Especially here for Vegas, 71% is absolutely insane in the early goings, but you can't scoff on what Tallahassee has done either with 57%. So right now, a very huge offensive showing in the early goings of this contest. And right now, Vegas trying to look for more. We'll be able to get that finger roll down as they bring bring the lead back up to 3.
Yeah, but Hopkins could erase that in a heartbeat with 1 good 3, and I think they're going to keep going back to her with how she's been playing.
I mean, you really can't blame her, as Martin looking like a long 2 there, but it will be missed there. Baylor with the rebound. As Jean going toe-to-toe with Hopkins. Try to get back into the paint and will rattle it home just inside the free throw mark.
Hot start for the Cat already. 3 for 3 with some free throws added into the mix to already give him 8 points in this game.
And right now, Crosby dishing it over to Martin. Martin going for a mid-ranger. Not going to get it down that time, as Ivy with the rebound. And now here comes Murphy. Surveying the field a little bit, bringing it over to John. John has been doing very well offensively for Vegas. It's not surprised that they're going to go for another shot here, but that time it's going to be in and out. Now this time, Victorson found a way to get it past the defender, but not able to get it down this time, as once again, Baylor with the rebound. Vegas going for that tag with Ivy Robbins, finishing things up. And just like that, when we were seeing it going tit for tat, trying to stay within that 3-point margin, Vegas blowing up a little bit as they are now finding themselves up by 7. And that shot was missed, going out of bounds, and it will be going to the cards.
Yeah, and you can tell that Vegas has made the adjustment of picking up the pace in that fast transitions. Robbins has had multiple passes sent up the court to her under the basket. I mean, they're relying on Baylor to be the rebound cleanup and letting Robbins get down the floor for an early basket. Now, that puts a lot of pressure on Baylor. If he misses that rebound, he's going to give away a free second chance opportunity. And Astrid, active pause with the strip. The Sabretooth taking it the other way.
Yeah, right now, Tallahassee has tried to cut the deficit out a little bit, and they will do just that with a long 2. So, Edge cutting that deficit down to 5. Trying to stop the bleeding a little bit here.
It's a rough start to the game, but hitting that big 2 there. And a legal screen being called on Robbins. As Victorson goes to the floor. Robbins not happy with that call, but going to go the other way.
Yeah, and that's not really what you want to see here. Especially, you don't want to have those kind of mistakes come into those crucial moments, because now Tallahassee has a chance to put it down back to 1 possession, depending on the basket, as Francois hands it over to Sutter. Crosby looking to try and take advantage with the size difference, but not going to get it down this time, as St. Martin does get the rebound. We are seeing a majority of the second unit for both sides come in and take some minutes here.
And Doyle still out there for Vegas. And he gets the block shot, collects it, cleans it up, keeps the possession. Vegas' way.
Not a lot of time here though on the shot clock, so they gotta do something with it, and it's gonna come up empty, as Snoot able to get the rebound.
And they're keeping Victorson out too on the floor. I think they don't want to risk leaving Doyle out there against one of the bench players.
Yeah, and I can't really blame them here, as Victorson goes for a 3, and it is gonna go rain down. And that's probably one of the big props you got to give for Tallahassee within this series, is that their bench is probably one of the deepest in the league, and why they've done so well in this series.
No doubt. I mean, Francis, as you mentioned on the floor, was a starter at different points of this year and could be a starter on a different team. And should Tallahassee take home a ring, you have to wonder, how many of their bench they can keep in this next upcoming free agency, as they tie it up here, 21 apiece.
Yeah, that 7-point lead has just gone within a flash, and the Wildcards are having to force to take a timeout here to try and figure out what the heck is going on here. But you really got to put into the huge effort here, not only from the second unit, but also some of the mistakes in the late going of this first quarter.
Turnovers, that's been the thing. We saw the illegal screen. We saw some passes get jumped on. And, that's been the factor. I'm pretty sure the field goal percentage for Vegas is still sky high. They're just missing out on possessions. And Raleigh! Raleigh rejected from behind! Smoot!
Tallahassee, now the crowd is all the way in this year after that defensive stop. 14 seconds left on the shot clock, though, for Vegas. But that confidence has really gotten shattered here, as the second unit has to try to find a way to get some kind of answer, as Wolf trying to get into the paint, not looking at any dices.
Oh my God, again!
Again! But just in time, the shot goes off, but it's no good. St. Martin with the cleanup. Trying to lead up, no good.
See, it was the fact that it was Smoot, who was beat by the offense, was able to time a block from behind perfectly. That was what got the crowd excited. Again, Smoot, a player that has been a starter for Tallahassee for the better part of a decade, has found herself relegated to the bench, but she has shown no animosity towards the situation she finds herself in as she looks to round out her career, parading towards another championship run.
Yeah, and that's going to be something that a lot of these veteran players here on the Typhoons, some has had championship history in the past, and they want to go ahead and get another one to their name of their illustrious careers. And right now, St. Martin looking to try and dash those dreams here with a quick 3 ball to take that lead right back.
Now stretching his range to hit that 3, but he was so open. You have to hit that in the modern FBA. As now, Vegas takes the lead once again here, but a little under 3 minutes left to go. As you said, a 7-point lead gone. You feel like Vegas, they're on the back foot here.
Oh, 100%, and we get a quick 2-pointer there from Immers.
6 points already coming off the bench for clarity.
And that's going to be probably going to be the big answer coming into this game is how are they going to find a way to get more, trying to take more advantages both offensively for Vegas in the second unit, as well as trying to find those good stops here. Because right now, Tallahassee, I would say, is outscoring the Vegas bench by quite a good margin here so far, as we get a nice little finger roll finish for Tallahassee. And this time Collins. Going over to Collins back with the ball. And Wolf getting a nice screen. Trying to get that finish, and it's good.
And the bench at least staying tit for tat, keeping it close here in the final minutes of this quarter.
And they're going to have to. I mean, just being able to find some kind of rhythm once again to try and at least keep the game competitive. We get a quick foul there against Wolf. As Francis will go on the line for 2. Hoping to extend that lead up to 3. And this is still a very high-scoring game from both sides, as both sides are getting close to hitting the 30 mark with just about 1 minute left of this opening quarter.
Yeah, I mean, you can't discount their effort on both ends. I mean, defense has been there too. We saw the field goal percentage has now dropped down to about 50%, which still on the slightly high side. However, it has been the pace that has been going, the high tempo. And you have to wonder, you talked about energy usage, how long until the fatigue starts to slip in for both teams?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's not surprising that the pace has picked up a little bit here, as both teams are very well rested after traveling from Vegas down here to Florida. But obviously, it's still going to be a lot going on in the early goings for both of these sides. So we'll see who's going to cool down more so as this game goes on. And we get a quick mid-range shot. Not going to be good, but Rosalie Smoot once again cleaning house, extending the lead up to 5. Their biggest lead so far in the game. We'll see if they extend it here, if they're able to stop Fletcher. As Fletcher going for a quick alley-oop pass, but miscommunication, and it will be Tallahassee's ball, and that is not what you want to see if you're a Vegas fan.
No, the few that made it here all the way from Vegas are probably disheartened to see what a 7-point game swing around by over double digits at this point, and Tallahassee trying to go for a quick shot, not able to convert. Vegas will have the final possession of this quarter, but you know, it's fallen apart a bit here at the end for them.
They have an opportunity to finish strong with Fletcher trying to get the shot off, but it's not going to be good this time. It's in and out. So that after the end of 1, Tallahassee up by 5, 31-26 as we head into the second quarter.
Yeah, coming back, like I said, down by 7. That's a 12-point swing in what was amounted to, I think, 5 minutes. 12-point differential in the run. Now, we can't discount Vegas. Their starters are going to be coming back in over the course of the second quarter. And they were the ones who were able to build that lead up. So what does Tallahassee do to counter that eventual starter resurgence that we might see here? As starters, mostly all of them back on the floor, I see.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I'm not really surprised here. Victorson going for 3, extending it up to the biggest lead so far for Tallahassee at 8. And the biggest lead so far in this game in total. And it looks like the Stars are going to have a lot of cleaning up to do after the Vegas has simmered down quite extensively within the first quarter. And Baylor showing a little bit of bully ball here with the spin move and the lay-in.
And knocking down Kierkegaard to the floor. Now, big body against big body. They're at least matching up a little bit better with Conley on the floor, not having to try and defend Baylor with his 2 fouls already. But that means the Husky is well rested coming into this second quarter after being subbed out early in that first.
With the rebound this time. And right now we're trying to see Vegas. Another unforced turnover with a 3-second violation. I believe that was on Brandon.
Pretty sure, down low in the post. 3-second violation.
Yeah, and those are the mistakes that you don't really want to see right now, as Tallahassee can take advantage of those quite easily, as we have seen them done before within the series. And right now, Baylor trying to make it up with a steal, and ends up will be causing the turnover, as Vegas will get the ball here. So great defensive effort there on the perimeter from Baylor.
Yeah, but I feel like he's starting to force it now. I mean, trying to go for a steal, and a foul on the way up. Kierkegaard gonna send Robbins to the line for 2. I mean, we talk about Brandon last year struggling with the foul situation. I mean, he has none on his current scorecard, so I guess he can't afford to be a little aggressive. But those fouls can rack up quick. A reach-in foul, a legal screen, a shooting foul, then suddenly he's in foul trouble very quickly. So I worry a little bit about Brandon if he is trying to be a bit of a hero on defense, building up those fouls quickly.
Yep. Meanwhile, Vegas 1 for 2 from Robbins on the free throw line, so deficit still at 5. And Luther trying to go for a fadeaway, but it's not going to go down this time, as John bringing it up. Little pass between a few of the guards on the perimeter, as John trying to debate on what to do here, trying to go for a quick screen, as Doyle does find a way to get into the paint, but will be missed. And Robbins
over the back foul. Okay, Robbins is the one getting racked up with fouls. That's okay, I guess, in some ways, if it's not Baylor.
I mean, that's still something you really don't want to see. Ivy Robbins really becoming really being argued as like one of the best centers in the league right now. That's still something you don't want to see either of them, of your front court stablemates, trying to get in any foul trouble, as Conley is able to extend that lead, as it's now up to 7. And so far, Vegas having a really tough time trying to, get back into this. Trying to look for any kind of answers here offensively, as Baylor really tough on the rock in the hard place. Hands it over to Doyle, and Murphy going for a desperation 3, and it rattles in.
I say that's, I think, actually what I want to see is them spraying the ball back out. We saw them start the game with a 3 from Doyle, and we know Tyreek, Jean, and Doyle can hit those threes, so maybe try and stretch out a little bit. They've been attacking the paint perhaps a little too much here tonight. Go back to that 3-point game that got you started tonight on the right foot.
Yeah, a little bit of contact, but no call there. They still get the basket, though, for Tallahassee, as they extend it back to 6. And now Murphy gets a quick screen from Brandon, and loses the ball on the way up by Conley with a steal. And Conley hands it over to Martin. Martin for 3, and it's good. And the Cards have to take a timeout here, as they find themselves down by 9. Biggest lead here for Tallahassee.
Yeah, and you see Kierkegaard is excited and hyping up Adge after that big 3 again. Tallahassee, things are starting to go their way here, and that's a dangerous thing for Vegas. They had to come in this game strong, and they did, but they've started to flounder a little bit early, and we haven't even made it to halftime yet, so that's still plenty of game left to play, but they need to pick it up on offense and defense.
And right now, we got John Ferdinand able to try to keep the Tafoons quiet a little bit with the fan base. Very rowdy as ever here, trying to bring another championship back home. As Martin trying to get into the paint, going for that mid-range, and it's good. So already 11 points for Adge Martin tonight. And right now we see an alley-oop pass to Robbins with a dunk.
A little better coordinated this time between the two starters.
And now trying to get back into this game any way possible. And that is one way to try and excite your team a little bit, because you got to get that effort here, as Conley wide open for 3. And lucky that was missed here, as John does collect the board. And we get a kick pass from Warren. Warren trying to get into the paint. Not much going on there. Decides to pass it out to O'Reilly. And O'Reilly going for that mid-range, and it's good.
And keep that in mind with Tallahassee. They can shoot the 3 ball from point to power forward. They are dangerous from beyond the arc. That just leaves things open down low for Kierkegaard. So they're definitely going to keep Vegas on their toes on defense with letting Conley have free reigns to shoot the 3 ball.
Yeah, right now, Aurora trying to dish it into the paint, but it gets intercepted there by Ivy Robbins. So now Vegas looking to try to take advantage of that turnover. As John trying to lay it up, but it's not going to be good. But Robbins able to clean it up. And without blinking, you may have missed the chance that Vegas is now only down by 2 after a couple of great offensive performances there in these past few possessions.
Well, not just that, but the turnovers, getting the stops and stripping the ball from Aurora was big. But Vegas not able to stop them there. Basket putting it back to 4. And I mean, again, Tallahassee, so many weapons they can get on the floor and get going. And Doyle, with the finger roll spin move, answers back. Oh, that field goal percentage,
now,
Marcus.
Oh my goodness.
57% for both teams. Even Steven here tonight.
Yeah, even Steven, not even just in percentage-wise, but also in the amount of shots taken for both teams, for both sides. Both at taking 30, making 17. Yeah. And it just goes to show that both sides, even though that they both have taken significant leads at some point in this game, it's still very close, and it could be anyone's game. So you got to appreciate Vegas finding a way to dip back into this hole, but now they have to try and take over, and they will get the lay in there as Vegas ties things up. Tyreek Moen with 7 points so far in the first half.
And Murphy coming in big now. He had that 3 earlier, and now back-to-back baskets. And he was a little quiet earlier in the series, so glad to see him stepping it up here tonight. Like I said, Brandon was big in the first 2 games and needed some help. He needed that second and third fur to step up. And now they have a chance to retake that lead after finding themselves down by 9 with a basket here. Who are they going to go to? It's Doyle, who hit the 3 to start this game and hits a 3 to retake the lead.
And that really kind of goes to show when you have to pick and choose when to take that 3. That's a perfect spot for it. And now the Typhoons taking their second timeout of the game. Now wondering what they need to do to try and quiet down this offensive onslaught here from Vegas.
I mean, it's been a 12-point swing the other way. Again, Tallahassee was up by 9 5 minutes ago. And now they find themselves down by 3. And like you said, someone who went to go get a hot dog thinking they had a chance, but to beat the crowd at halftime, they're shocked to come back and find their team down.
Yeah, now this really kind of goes to show that this could be a game of wave of momentum that's good. Find a way to get into the paint, but will draw the foul against O'Reilly. So Good will go on the line for 2.
And St. Lawrence coming in to actually stop the ball from going up. It won't be an and one opportunity, but you see there, the Vegas tonight scoring off assists, 21 points. They're relying on the passing to get the open fur.
Yep, and Carson Good, longtime bench player for the Typhoons, able to get both of them down. All right, now St. Martin trying to get the paw, but it get deflected over to Emer. So another costly turnover here for Vegas, and we might not see that switch happening as Good getting a 3. Show how much of a good boy he is with that that 3-pointer.
Marcus.
Look, I gotta get him in. It's been a while. Come on.
But that 5-point swing coming from Good, putting Tallahassee back up, and now they have a chance to continue. And Good, 7 in a row.
Good with 7 straight points.
I don't think that was what they talked about at the timeout. I'm pretty sure they didn't say just get Good the ball, but I mean, it's working right now. You hear the defense, the crowd is back in this game.
Yeah, Good with the hot paw, just totally swinging things over to Tallahassee once again. But right now, O'Reilly trying to go for a shot for a long 2, but it's in and out. And now Tallahassee is just to extend the lead even more so. Now see a quick pass over to Emers. Emers trying to go for that mid-range. He's not going to go down this time. As St. Martin does get the rebound, and now Wolf Bring it up. Hands it over to Collins. Collins with the layup, and it's good.
Yeah, 3 minutes left to go, and both teams have already broke 50 here. Like I said, a high-scoring game for both teams.
Yeah, right now, it doesn't seem like defense is going to win championships, especially for this game anyways, as Emers trying to go into that mid, trying to go for that quick shot. Not going to be good, but gets blocked there for the second attempt. But Francois able to go ahead and get that 3. And Vegas needs to prevent that thing from happening, not giving Tallahassee their second and third chances to get some points, and that ends up giving them 3 points, getting the lead back up to 5.
And the 3 game has been so big for Tallahassee here tonight. I definitely want to see at the halftime what the stat breakdown is. And even the free throws have been in favor of Tallahassee here. It's only a 3-point difference, but, you know, hey, that's a full possession.
Yeah, that is true, is Francois getting the good screen. Looking for something here as Maddox hands over to Good, who has been pretty hot so far, will continue that streak with another 3.
10 points coming off the bench for Good. He may have more from the first quarter I'm forgetting about, but and in this quarter alone, big game coming after the Dalmatian.
The Dalmatian is really been on fire. Someone's got to cool him down, but we get a nice quick dunk there.
Oh, Raleigh with the dunk.
Yeah, and that probably quieted things down just a little bit for the Typhoon Crown, causing up a storm as the good boy tried to lay it up but gets fouled there by Collins.
A chance to add to his point total this quarter with under 70 seconds left to go in this 77 seconds to go in this first half. Opportunity to possibly push it to 60. See some substitutions. Not really much time left for the starters to have an impact here in the last few possessions, but they'll still come out at least.
I mean, I can't really blame Vegas for going down this route, because like this is the second time in a row when the second unit comes in and things just exploded into Tallahassee's favor, as both will go down here for the good boy. And I'm just gonna keep calling him that until he starts cooling down, because there's just no stopping him. But right now, Baylor looking to try and clean up a little bit of the mess here. Will draw the foul against Rosalie Smoot, the veteran. And so...
And the crowd letting the refs know how they feel about calling a foul on their golden buffalo. Or sorry, bison. Golden bison.
Yeah. But here, Brandon, you gotta remember that, like, even though this is his second straight time coming back, the jitters are still gonna be there, as we clearly see as the first one gets missed.
I mean, a second-year player, even though, again, like I said, second opportunity. This is technically his 10th finals game after having a 7-game series last year.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot to take in, even as a young player, as Maddox going for a mid-range. Not going to get it down this time, as Brandon does get the board. And right now, Vegas needs to go ahead and try and get some momentum going before they enter the second half. As trying to get some kind of look here, as Wolf gets the screen, goes for the pop, and it will go down.
And that's good management on their time. It's going to leave at least 7 seconds left for them, no matter what Tallahassee does here, to have the final shot. So a good defensive stop here, and a basket could put him back within a single possession. Oh!
And that's going to be the case here, as Baylor ends up stealing it. And now, Vegas trying to take advantage of it, but St. Martin does get the board back. They have to go ahead and get a quick reset. They will have the final possession still. And right now, Brandon gets the screen. And it's not going to go down. Baylor tried to tip it in, but it's no good. So, at the end of the first half for game number 3, Tallahassee does find themselves up by 5, 60-55.
How do you lose track of the big white bear being able to jump on that passing lane? I mean, I'll give it to him. He came sprinting in. Like, that was... Had he missed the pass, he would have been completely out of the play. So, he had to get the steal. And you see there, Tallahassee does have the slight advantage in terms of steals and blocks. But we'll dive into the actual breakdown in a minute. But very close game, much closer than the first two thus far.
I mean, honestly, this has to go down. Even though they're down by 5, you finally get to see a little bit of the cracks here on Tallahassee's end, especially with some of the ways that we've seen as we go ahead and get into the stats here. And obviously, leading the fray for the starters has been Az with 11 points.
Now, considering that the Tallahassee's best scorer has been coming off the bench with Good with 12 points, I mean, that is both a good and bad thing from Vegas's point of view. It's good that, hey, we actually are having a impact on the starters this time, but it's a bad news that, hey, there's a bench player that's coming in hot, and we have no answer for him right now.
And going over to the Vegas side, we're seeing a lot of offensive in the guards doing very well in the starter position, but still not a lot of answers here on the bench. That has to be the big question mark here going into the second half, is how will the Vegas bench try to find a way to clean things up as we head into the second half, with Tallahassee getting the rocket. Conley getting blocked, denied twice in a row by Brandon. And now Vegas has a chance to try and cut this deficit to one possession once again.
Yeah, I was going to say, Brandon has been a lot quieter on offense than we saw in the first two games, but stepping up on defense there, and it's actually been Robbins coming alive on offense for Vegas. Kind of mentioned earlier in the game about how one of the top centers in the league, and she's showing it with her second chance opportunities and baskets, but she also has some foul trouble she has to be careful of. And stripped!
Ooh.
Losing the ball there.
Yeah, now we could see Vegas possibly tied with a 3, but the ball gets loose once again, and Conley is able to pick it up. Yeah, right now, another costly mistake there by Vegas. Instead of actually looking at possibly tying it with a 3, they now might be down 2 possessions once again. And we'll see if that's the case, as Tallahassee tries to get a 3, but Luther swarming up into the paint to clean things up.
Yeah, the Jackalope taking flight there and grabbing the ball and putting it back without even touching the ground. Very difficult to stop the 7'6" Jackalope in that case. No.
Yeah, no, and Baylor, another illegal screen.
Well, first of tonight, it was Robbins earlier that got called for the illegal screen on Vegas' side.
Yeah, right now, when we talk about like how good the bigs are for Vegas, we also got to take a look at Luther Kierkegaard, especially. I would consider him probably one of the more underrated bigs in this game with how athletic he is, as Hopkins going for 3, not going to be good, and Luther cleaning it up as I go ahead and mention him. He does deliver in that possession, as Tallahassee now up by 7.
Well, and that's the problem. On most other teams, he would be the number 1 or number 2 go-to scorer. On Tallahassee, he's the 5th go-to scorer, and I'd argue maybe the 6th, depending on who's on the bench coming in. As we see, Robbins absolutely stretching it there with a 3 of her own. Not something we see from her often. Victor
said cleaning things up real quick with the basket.
But yeah, Luther, I mean, again, I'd argue 5th or 6th scoring target on this Tallahassee team. That's just how much of a threat they are all over the floor from all ranges, from bench even into the starting lineup. But it's tough. So again, I agree, he's underrated, but that's just because he's surrounded by too much talent.
For sure, and right now, as O'Reilly did miss that basket here for Vegas, Tallahassee has a chance to extend this lead once again. Right now, we could possibly see Tallahassee breaking the double digits if things continue to go the way they do. Thankfully, that's not going to be the case here with Robbins picking up the miss.
Thankfully, Marcus, you're biasing one side.
I'm not biasing on any sides. I want an exciting game. You know, it's better. I'd rather not have another game where we're like down double digits and then we're just like, okay, what's going on with the next game? No, we got to talk about this one, man. That's what we got to talk about.
What? The first sweep in decades is not exciting, Marcus?
It's still exciting. Everything is exciting. As the first one does get made here for John Ferdinand. Let's see if he makes the second one here to cut that deficit down to 4. And that will be the case. as the Typhoons do call timeout here.
Well, I mean,
so right now, a little bit messy. It's been a little messy of a start of the second half from both sides.
I was going to say, Tallahassee has seen a 9-point lead evaporate. They're not going to play this game recklessly at this point. Like, they know right now that the momentum is in their favor. They are the ones up 2 road game victories. All the pressure is on Vegas now. They have to win twice on the road just to hope that they can win the series. They can't afford to walk away without a victory here tonight. I mean, they'll have no errors left if they don't.
We get a nice little mid-range there from Adge as they do extend it back to 6. And that is why this game is so important, because I don't think any time in FBA history we've actually had a team be able to come back to win it all, down 3-0. So that's something that you really want to avoid, to be in that position to be if you are a Wildcards fan. As right now they are still down by 6. They still have possession of the ball as Ivy looking at John Ferdinand with the easy open lane to go ahead and get that finger roll in.
And now it's a defensive stops, and they're going to let Aurora take a 3 off the screen. And Luther is so great for being able to give that little space that she needs to pop that off, but not able to convert that time.
Yeah, and so far Vegas is doing very well, has been out rebounding Tallahassee so far, as we get to see a quick lay in there from Ivy Robbins, as Robbins already close to 20 points so far in this game, as we're in the middle of the third quarter. As Conley gets the space, going for that long 2, and it's good.
Yeah, that's tough on Brandon. The Husky he has the height advantage on the Husky, but Conley is just so agile and mobile all around the perimeter, and it's going to put a lot of strain on the Polar Bear to try and keep some lockdown defense on him, because he can hit it from anywhere on the floor.
Yeah, for sure. And right now, Brandon going tit for tat himself against Conley, going for that mid-ranger.
I mean, if Conley's going to bully him with this speed, Brandon has the right to bully him with his bulk. I mean, that's one way to make the guy slow down, is if you tire him out trying to box you out and push you out of the post. I'm sorry, you're not going to win that. I think he has at least 50 pounds on the Husky.
Yeah, and now Ivy Robbins with the quick block, but Doyle does get called for the foul there.
Now that's
the surprise they didn't call that for Robbins, but
yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, it's the better for it to get called on. If Robbins picked up her 3rd, that might start to be a little worrying, but she's managed to stay clean after picking up 2 early in the game.
Yeah, right now Tallahassee looking to extend that lead back to 4, and they will do just that with both free throws going again. And right now, both teams really going toe for toe. There hasn't really been a moment where a team has really kind of taken control within the third quarter. We'll see if that changes, as Doyle going to get something here as Robin gets the screen. Try to go for an open look, but it's not going to be good this time. And now Victorson, by herself, laying it in.
I mean, fast break. They're going to let the Sabretooth run the court again. She's a little undersized for her position, but she fights like a fur 5 inches taller than she is. So there's a reason why they brought her in. Is Ferdinand down low in the post, battling against Aurora. ISO pulls it in and lays it down. 17 points tonight for the Cat.
Yeah, and honestly, you can't really ask any more for any of the guards here. Both John, Tyreek, and Warren have really stepped up into this game. And we get to see another foul. This time it's going to be the 3rd one on Robbins. And now you're going to have the question of whether or not she's going to have to make some decisions long term for this game of being aggressive, as she may be looking at a little bit of foul trouble if she gets another one in the short term.
Yeah, 3 here isn't terrible. Third quarter, if she pulls a 4th one early, that might be the time that they decide to sub her out. But 3 is fine. But no, they will go ahead and sub her out, give her a chance to catch her breath and rest. But that also we saw was Tallahassee when they had their best run was when their bench was on the floor. So being down by 6, Vegas, can you stop the bench you failed to stop earlier in the game?
Yeah, that's going to be the big question here as right now we see John, who's still on the floor, trying to lay it up, but does draw the foul against Francois. So
Yeah,
John,
the Panther.
once again, going back on the line.
Panther wrapping up the cat a bit there. And, I mean, it's automatic for Jean Ferdinand from the line. Turning around even before the basket goes in, knowing it's good.
Yeah, currently perfect from the free throw line. And John Ferdinand has actually been kind of the main staple, trying to get into the line as much as he can. Currently 6 for 6. And that's the best way to go ahead and really fill up the stat sheet a little bit to keep your team in it, is to try and draw as much fouls as you can. And John did a really good job here so far in this game.
Well, I mean, you also got to consider, you know, it breaks the rhythm of the Tallahassee Typhoons that have been picking it up here and going fast pace. They have to stop and slow down, and it gives Vegas a chance to catch their breath. You know, they've been having to run the court and try and defend these fast breaks. And it takes a toll on them. So if you can get your team to the line, chance to, you know, actually set their feet still and be able to be ready for transitional defense, it's a big thing to give your players even that 60 seconds of extra rest. Now, of course, it gives the other team 60 seconds of rest.
Yeah, that's kind of like the tit for tat. But right now, Vegas is able to get them down to 2 a little bit. So far, so good for the second unit in another outing. The third round, trying to look for any kind of better options here. As Emers not able to get it down, but Sutter's trying to clean things up, but it's not going to be good as Brad Pullman does bring it down, longtime vet.
Well, he's been out of the league for the last few years, and St. Martin kicking it back out rather than going for that basket. I mean, I would have liked to seen him battle a little bit more in that post, but I don't blame him with the matchup. But going to be Ferdinand for 3. No good.
Yeah, trying to take the lead there, but this time it's not going to be good here as Francois trying to get into the paint and will get that basket down. Now Francois, 9 points so far. Really good outing here, coming off the bench, 3 for 5. And now, we'll see how things going as John, once again, with the rock. And over to O'Reilly. O'Reilly trying to go for the mid-range. It's not going to be good, but St. Martin able to get the old-school three-point play. Possibly.
I would say you just jinxed the man. I can't believe you did that, but
I didn't jinx anything, so he made it.
Well, we see substitutions coming on both sides of the ball. Good, back on the floor with such a threat. Yeah, don't get started. The producers had to talk with you about calling someone a good boy.
What do you mean? I didn't say. There's nothing wrong with calling someone a good dogs like that.
Oh, we're gonna have so many letters in the mail.
Oh, come on. I'm just joking. In any case, Rosalie Smith again getting drawn for the foul here as Vegas really living and dying by the free throw line so far in this third quarter. As the first basket goes good for Wolf. Second one, gonna be good as well. And now Vegas is only down by 1.
I mean,
So
they said they
now,
kept it close. Have we seen a single double-digit lead tonight for either team? I don't believe so.
No, not at all, I don't think. The closest we got to was in the middle of the second quarter with the Typhoons being up by 9 at one point. And now they're extending it back to 4 in this current case. But yeah, I believe the biggest lead has been 9. So
Marcus?
we've been very close to it.
Marcus, can you do your math again?
What?
You said a 4-point lead.
Oh, 5. Well, excuse me, 3. My bad. Look, I'm in the zone, all right? Sometimes your brain is running 50 miles an hour trying to keep up everything. My bad for making one little mathematical mistake, all right?
It's okay, Marcus. I'll forgive you. But again, they tying it back up and good, rejected.
Whoa,
St. Lawrence rejecting the Dalmatian shot there, and Tallahassee going to at least keep possession.
Yeah, right now we get a nice little mid-range there, so it still goes, be able to extend that lead back to 3.
It's interesting. Vegas has the higher field goal percentage, but Tallahassee has had more possessions, and Wolf with the dunk. They are not letting Tallahassee bench pull away at all here now in this third quarter. This is the energy they needed earlier in the game.
Better late than never. As I like to say, we get a quick 3 there. I believe that was from Francois, so now Tallahassee now is back up to 4. As St. Martin pass it over to O'Reilly. O'Reilly trying to get into the paint, but so far, no dice. Getting defended very well, and Sutters, the veteran, doing whatever he can.
And this
Being
is
a
where
former champion with the Howlers.
Francois being such a pain coming off the bench. Again, a player who could be a starter on many teams in the league. Finding his time coming off the bench, and he's just so damaging. And we do see Good getting another basket there. And again, a player that has an opportunity maybe to make a big contract splash in free agency, as he is on his last year as well. Both those players heading to free agency after this year.
And so far, seeing a quick pass over to Wolf. Wolf going for that mid-range, and it's got to be good. And right now, Vegas still trying to keep it in within a reasonable deficit, trying to make sure that the Typhoons do not go ahead for the lead.
Ooh.
And right now, Sutters with a quick mid-ranger.
That was a beautiful fadeaway mid-ranger coming out from Sutters there.
Yeah, I mean, he is a former champion with both the Howlers and the Spectrums respectively in his career, so it's no surprise that he'll be able to find a way to get into the basket at this point in his career. And right now we're seeing that Vegas still not letting up with a quick basket of their own. With just 10 seconds left here in the third quarter, this has been very close. As right now, we get to see Sutters once again with the size difference. Try to lay it up, but it's not going to be good there. So at the end of 3, we're entering the final quarter with the Typhoons having a chance to go up 3-0 as they're up by 4.
And not just that, look at the score, 91-87 going into the fourth quarter. It has been a high scoring game here for both teams. If they keep this pace up, we're looking easily to break 120 to finish this game up. But with how close it's been, overtime is not off the table if they can't find a way to separate themselves.
And that's going to be the big question here as we get some solid efforts here. Is right now, Vegas will cut the deficit down to 2.
At Doyle going against Victorson, able to hit that. And again, they've brought their starters back in. This is probably going to be the lineups as we see the starters coming back on the floor for the rest of the game.
Yeah, and especially with looking at for Vegas with Robbins coming in, there was the worry about whether or not she might be entering this quarter with 4 fouls, but since they pulled her earlier than expected, she has a free rein to be as aggressive as she can. As right now, Luther able to get the rebound, but gets blocked there pretty quickly, and Baylor trying to stop the second attempt, but it's not going to be good this time.
Yeah, you saw there a good effort from Robbins to block Kierkegaard, but Tyler able to clean it up and still make that basket either way with 2 bigs all over him. Doyle,
right
Doyle
now,
off the
Doyle.
back of Martin. Martin pulls it in somehow, though.
Yeah, another costly turnover that you don't really want to see, especially at this point in the game. And right now, the Typhoons not able to take advantage of it, though. So yeah, right now, both sides really trying to find a way to take control of this game as you get a kick screen from Baylor. Doyle trying to get into the paint, but gets shoved there by Conley. And now Tallahassee has a chance to extend this lead once again. And who better to do it than possibly Aurora, but instead she dishes out of Conley. Conley gets screened. We'll get the man advantage, and we get a quick foul there by Doyle with a reach-in.
Yeah, but it wasn't a shooting foul, which is probably the best situation because he was going to get beat there by Conley. even with Baylor behind him, probably was not going to have a good shot at stopping it. But, oh, Victorson off the inbound. Back up by 4 with 10 minutes left to go.
Good mid-range shot there from Victorson. And now Tallahassee back up to 2 possessions. But now here comes Baylor. Trying to answer back, trying to go for a lay-in, but misses it, but does clean up his own miss.
And you saw
it down 2-2.
Let's say you saw there the defense was double teaming him. Impact from the first 2 games being felt, and he still somehow pulled down his own miss with 2 defenders around him.
Yeah, and even though it's been awfully quiet for him, he has still a chance to go for another double-double game here as he has 9 points into the game. But Tallahassee still doing what they can with a nice 3 ball there from Aurora, as the Cards will have to take a timeout as they try to find a game plan to try and quiet down Tallahassee, as they're already about to hit that century mark. And we haven't even hit the 9-minute mark yet here in this final quarter.
Yep. Again, they've field goal percentage throughout all the quarters has been sky high, and the defense, has had its moments to shine, but it really, offense has been where it's been at, and the pace, the speed they've been playing at. Both teams barreling towards the conclusion of this game 3. One desperately trying to keep the series alive, the other trying to set themselves up with match point, as Aurora will send Ferdinand to the line for 2. Not the fur you want to be sending there with how he's been shooting tonight, as he's up to 20 points now.
Yep, 20 points and currently perfect from the free throw line, pending.
Oh, Marcus, don't do it.
But but John Ferdinand has been living on the free throw line for a majority of this game. And that perfect will continue here as Vegas do find themselves only down by 3. They will need to get a stop here as Victorson. She's been very hot so far in this quarter. And she passes over to Conley. A lot of passing along the perimeter as Aurora has it. Will get the screen, but it doesn't bite. Conley got it very well by Brandon and will miss it with the shot clock violation being here. I believe Robin was the one that swatted it a little bit. So the ball will go over to Vegas. What a great defensive effort there for the Cards.
Yeah, I have to see on the stat sheet who gets marked down for the block, because both of them are right there, and they left no margin of error on that shot clock as Tyler tried to drive into the basket. No, answering back on the other end, Adge just tapping it and stopping the shot. Quick answer back on defense from Tallahassee.
Yeah, now Tallahassee once again have a chance to extend this back to a 2-possession game as Martin going for 3, no good, but Aurora able to clean things up and take that mid-ranger. So with that, Tallahassee has hit that century mark, up by 5, 195 here, as we're under 8 minutes left. Vegas trying to find a way to stay in this. Cannot lose any sort of momentum as Doyle trying to find something. Instead, we see it go all the way to Brandon. Baylor going for a 3, and it's not going to be good. Not the shot that you want to see Baylor taking.
Hey, Robbins hit one earlier. Brandon, maybe was feeling a little... Oh, but there you go. Pass it straight to him.
Yeah, what a huge... That was a very major unforced error there by the Typhoons. And now Vegas has a chance to probably take it back down to 1 possession. And that will be the case here, as we do see Tyreek Murphy driving it down into the paint to get those 2 points.
Yeah, battling against Kierkegaard, not afraid. The Mouse fighting a bigger body down low in the post for those baskets. Quick play to Murphy again, down low in the post, but Adge there to stop him.
Yeah, right now both teams really doing a good job. Like, even though that it has been within margins, the defense has really picked up here in this quarter. And we get another turnover here from the Typhoons. And now John looking to try and get into the paint, maybe looking to draw another foul, but will not get the call and try to get the fade away, but it's not going to be good this time. Now Conley trying to get into the paint, but misses as Baylor does get the rebound.
Pace is so high, the Mistakes are starting to slip in for both teams as they're just forcing the shots. But, oh, Tyreek with the Euro step to get to the basket.
Yeah, right now, Tyreek with 13 points in this game. Very solid performance from him as right now Aurora able to go ahead and rattle it home for the 2 points.
Yeah, broke 10 now, but matched up against Jean Ferdinand, 21 for him tonight. He has been a main factor for Vegas being in this game here.
Yeah, right now Tyreek once again trying to get into the paint, but Baylor able to clean things up. As now Baylor already having another double-double game as Luther not able to go ahead and get it down, and Ivy gets the board. And right now Luther has really been struggling so far in this game offensively. He has made some noise defensively though. But right now John hands it over to Robbins, but misses the dunk.
Yeah, Astrid there with the defense able to cause the brick.
You might have the question there might have been a slight push possibly on the way up, but no call there for that. So now Tallahassee has a chance to extend this lead back to 3, and that's not going to be the case. So now Vegas looking to possibly get the W here, or get the lead here, excuse me.
Oh no, the game's over as soon as they score. Let's call it. John!
Yeah. Oh my goodness! That would have been a good way to end it off with that 3, and now Vegas finally getting the lead for the first time in the second half, I think.
I believe so. I mean, I think they may have tied it up at one point, but it has been Vegas's fight back to the top this game for the most part.
Yeah, right now we get to see a quick shot there being made there as Robbins does get called for the foul. That'll be her 4th personal. But I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal since we're already less than 5 minutes left. So she can still bring in that aggressiveness, but now Tallahassee gets the lead right back.
It's going to come down to the final shot, and it might be an overtime game with how this has been going. But Martin fighting through Luther to get that basket. They're giving a chance for Robbins to rest.
Yeah, for sure. And now Carson Good, who has been really hot throughout this game, passes it over to Luther. Luther is not able to get it down. He has been really struggling here offensively in this game. As right now we get to see the ball getting stripped there by Hopkins. Aurora trying to give the lead back over to her team, and she will draw the foul against Doyle, and that'll be Doyle's 4th personal of this game. And we'll have to see if he gets pulled as well.
I mean, again, at this point, I think Doyle's fine to stay in. I think they're pulling Robbins more so to give her a couple minutes of rest. Because if this game comes down to a battle for like some missed shots, letting her, because she's been hot from the offensive field with those second chance opportunities. Now, you can't afford necessarily to pull her and then find yourself down by a big margin, so the rest of the team needs to step it up. Oh, and Murphy losing it.
Tyreek losing it at the most costly time, and now Tallahassee has a chance to extend this lead once again, and that ball gets stripped, and Baylor picks it up. Again, both teams really doing everything they can, and Baylor gets fed there, getting the lead right back for the Polar Bear.
Yeah, Doyle tipped the ball, and Baylor picked it up, and then it ended with Baylor on the other end, I think from Tyreek. So now they're getting things done, but it's back and forth here. 3 minutes left to go in this crucial Game 3.
And we get a call there from St. Martin as Hopkins will go on the line for 2. First one being good. And the second one will be good as well. So again, Tallahassee back into the lead as both sides really going tit for tat, as the Wildcards will call for their second timeout with less than 3 minutes left to go of the game. And honestly, you got to say that this is going to be a crucial timeout here to see whatever they can to do to try and not only take the lead, but try to get some kind of comfort into this as well.
I would say I don't love this timeout call here. I mean, yeah, you have 3 minutes left to go, and you're going to need to make some adjustments, but you're robbing yourself of an opportunity to bring the ball up the court to the half-court line should you find yourself down or ahead even. So now they only have one timeout for this last 3 minutes of the game. I mean, if they have something drawn up, they have to walk away with the possession here with a basket. they walk away empty-handed, then I call in question that timeout. But it's going to be Ferdinand getting it in. 26 points tonight for him. My player of the game should Vegas walk away with the win. And Typhoons want to burn their second to last timeout as well. Why not?
I mean, they might as well, as now both sides will only have one timeout with just 1 second, just a little over 2.5 minutes left of this game, and you got to be asking the same thing of whether or not if this was a good idea to be able to burn one of your last timeouts. It's a crucial point in the game, especially since we haven't really hit under the 2-minute mark. And now, Aurora looking to get into the paint, but gets denied there by Ivy Robbins. But Conley able to try to clean things up, try to give it back over to Hopkins. Now Conley desperately trying to get into the paint, but gets shafted once again by Robbins. And that's going to be Wildcard's ball after a shot clock violation. And that is a disastrous possession there for Tallahassee. And now the Vegas could capitalize on it.
Yeah, again, they walked away with nothing there. And again, lost timeout. Want to see if they made an adjustment beyond that. Obviously, Good is off the floor now. No, sorry, Good's still on the floor. I see him now. It's hard to miss the Dalmatian, but I did for a second. Doyle fouled on the way up by Victorson. Now, that's better than fouling Jean Ferdinand, who's been perfect from the line tonight, but Doyle's not one to crack under pressure.
Yeah, Doyle, longtime veteran, has been in the finals for as many times as we've been together. We've seen him in this position so many times. So
4 times now, I feel like.
Yeah, been 4 times. It's been. We've seen his face. No matter what team he is on, he's always had that stone cold face that he's got, and he is poised to make those baskets. But now Vegas is now looking to possibly try and ice this one, as with less than 2 minutes left, they do have the lead, and they will extend it here from Tyreek Murphy with the quick 2, as now they are up by 5.
Yeah, Aurora missed that previous 3 that would have tied it, and that was a big missed opportunity. She had a good look. I think she's trying to get a screen. She wants to attack. No, she dishes to,
Good.
A little too aggressive. Conley's going to keep it, though, and it's going back to Aurora. Can't convert. Battle for the ball. Third chance. No good.
Oh, my goodness. And what makes it crazy is the fact that that Vegas will count to have possession, and that kind of gave them the full 24, so they could have reset and try and get a full possession going. But nope, they wanted to rush it in. But with not a lot of time left, this might be the dagger basket, depending on what Vegas is doing here, as Doyle tried to go for a finger roll, but it's not going to be good.
Yeah, Hopkins, Good or Victorson for 3. Hopkins trying to force the 3, rattles out. Oh, foul's not necessary quite yet, but Vegas is going to want to burn as much clock as they can. And actually, Hopkins does want to go ahead and go for the foul and send them to the line for the bonus. And I mean, it's of course against Jean Ferdinand. With one more make, he could ice the game, and he, in my opinion, does. 7 points, 34 seconds is tough.
Yeah, that's a lot to ask for a team to do. We've seen crazy stuff before in playoff competition, but after that miss, yeah, that game is basically done. You got to go ahead and got to give credit where credit is due for Tallahassee, but Vegas finds a way to extend this series, and we're guaranteed a game 5. We'll be going back to Vegas.
Yeah, no sweep on the board for us tonight, and Asher she's going to keep chucking those 3s, try and hit something. It's not going to help her field goal percentage, but she doesn't care. She's trying to not give up on this game. They were so close to walking away with a victory here, and to have it slip away through their paws as Vegas walks away tonight. A lot of those misses from Hopkins in the final couple minutes, but it was a team effort. The score was pretty well spread. Good coming off the bench. Cooled off. Didn't really have many opportunities to get things going in that second quarter, but it was Francis coming in off the bench to keep Tallahassee in it. When we dive over to Vegas, honestly, Jean Ferdinand, big score from him. Terry Murphy picked it up in the second quarter. As you said, Brandon hitting his double-doubles. And Robin's also 20 points. Between Robin and John Ferdinand, huge performance from them tonight.
Yeah, and that's something that you really want to see. And that's very favorable for Vegas if they want to go ahead and try and even things up here in game number 4. But what this game 3 was crucial. And the question now becomes how much of that will gas them out for this next upcoming game because they they didn't it wasn't easy trying to get that third game. Tallahassee really had to really gave them a run for their money.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, you look at it, you see it's the fourth quarter fell apart. 18 points for Tallahassee, 33 for Vegas. I mean, that is a huge difference. Every quarter up to that point was either tied or 2 points separating them. So for Vegas to finally step it up in that fourth quarter and pull away by 13 to have a 9-point victory. I mean, obviously some of that came down to just missed shots. Like that happens, you're down by 5, you're going to have to go for threes and you're going to miss them more often than make them. As again, Tallahassee 10 of 22 before those threes that Aurora chucked up to try and close the gap. They were shooting above 50% from the 3-point line. So they were showing how dangerous they were. Everywhere steals, 10 steals. It was finally Vegas's blocks that came in, but it is not a done series, thankfully, for Vegas. They have a chance to steal a second one tomorrow.
And if that does end up happening, it makes the series a heck of a lot more interesting.
No home
I
victories, Marcus. All road wins.
all I mean, if you want to ask for a crazy finals storyline, that can be it. But obviously, we have to go through another game here in Tallahassee to get it done, and it's been quite the experience here for game number 3, and I'm very excited to get into the next one.
I am too, and I wanted to make sure everyone tunes in for another excellent game we'll be having coming up. Don't miss out as the FBA Finals is just heating up. Have a good night, everyone.
See ya.